My name is Roger Ducker. We used to use a bread machine to bake bread, and it was good while the machine lasted. If you like bread and want to set it and forget it, then a bread maker is then the way to go. If you want a better bread, shaped more like a loaf with a great crust, then watch this video. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a 1.5 pound loaf of bread. Nothing fancy, no special tools, just the ingredients, a mixer, an oven, and the recipe I'm using is for whole wheat white bread. And by the way, I won't be swearing at anyone, unlike some chefs that speak with a British accent. So, here we go. First of all, I'm going to put in the water, which is 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. By the way, I've already added 2 cups of flour in there. Okay, 1.5 tablespoons of oil. This is just olive oil. And 3 tablespoons of sugar. Notice how I've already got this mixed up. Let's see, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Okay, 1.5 tablespoons of dry milk. Let's see, I got 2 2/3 cups of white bread flour. I already added that. Then I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of whole wheat flour. And I got 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. That is here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the mixer up, and basically I'm going to mix it until the dough extrudes. Okay, so now you can see what we're looking for is we have a ball of dough in the mixer, and basically it's being smooshed between the 2 mixers. So what I'm going to do now, when we've got it to this point, is I'm going to stop it. I'm going to remove the bowl. And I'm just going to cover it and we'll leave it to rise for 1 hour. Okay, so now the dough's been rising for an hour, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease down another bowl, a little bit of olive oil. Quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dough in this new bowl. I grease it just so the dough doesn't stick to the bowl. So that way we can. This is a good time to take out any aggressions you might have. And you do this for about 15 minutes. Okay. Sometimes you might have to put a little bit of flour on your hands just so the dough doesn't stick to your fingers, but it looks like this time with the grease on it. So now I'm just going to, after punching it out, I'm going to put it back in here, cover it up, and again leave this in a warm place, and we'll give it another 30 minutes, and we'll be back in 30 minutes. Okay, so what we need to do now is I'm going to use this clay baking pot, or what they call a Romertopf, to bake the bread. And before I bake the bread, what I need to do is heat up the Romertopf. So I'm going to actually put this in the oven. This is the Romertopf. It's a clay pot with a lid. Put this in the oven. Turn on the oven and preheat. To set it to 475, that's degrees Fahrenheit, and now we wait for the oven to heat up. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heated clay pot out of the oven, get the dough. Ball. And then the reason I use the grease ball is then I can just slide it straight into the Romertopf. Take a little knife, just for cosmetic purposes. Make a couple of cuts across it. Another thing that will make it look nice when it comes out. So just put a little bit of flour on it. And then what I'm going to do, put the lid on. Put it in the oven. Okay, 20 minutes. And it should be done by then. And we'll take a look then when it's ready. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check the crust on the loaf. And I'm going to take the lid off the clay pot. Take a quick check. It looks like it could do with like about another minute. So what I do then is, I can see that crust right now. It's a little on the light side, but you know, some people like it that brown. I just like it a little browner. So I'm going to leave the lid off, close the oven, and what I'm going to do is just give it a minute, and then I'm going to take it out. So what I'm going to do now, I think the crust is pretty much the color I like it. So I'm going to take it out, turn off the oven. Take the loaf out of the pot. The good thing about these pots is bread doesn't stick. So there we have a 1.5 pound loaf of bread, and it's a really nice color. And what I'm going to do is we'll come back in a minute or two, or in about 30 minutes I should say, when it's cooled down, and we're going to taste some. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut some bread and we're going to taste it. I'm using the slicer. So the bread's still a little bit soft. Still a little bit warm. Okay, let's put some butter on it. Nice. Oh, delicious.